No matter how long you've been living with HIV, treatment can help when taken as prescribed. You can do this. The time to start or restart treatment could be today. Talk to your healthcare provider or visit helpstopthevirus.com to learn about the importance of staying engaged in HIV treatment.
So I was coming out and coming of age during the height of the AIDS epidemic, and different from COVID-19, the AIDS epidemic really was amplified because the government turned its back intentionally, alienating and stigmatizing the queer community. In the late 1980s, when I was 5 years old, my grandparents died of AIDS. My grandfather had an emergency blood transfusion during a back surgery and received contaminated plasma, and he ultimately was infected with HIV, passed it to my grandmother. They had full-blown AIDS, and they both died. And they died within 2 years of identifying that they had the virus. At the time, it was called GRID, gay-related immune deficiency, known as a gay cancer, and they kept getting sick. So they would go into the doctor. They didn't know what was happening. They saw in a medical journal this thing called GRID. They went into the doctor. They said that we think we have this. They were laughed out of the doctor's office, and sure enough, a few months later, they did test positive for HIV and died within 2 years of that. This was incredibly scary at the time. You know, they were on trial drugs like AZT. We just didn't know what was going to happen next. And then, of course, you know, I'm coming out and coming of age, getting older, and my father is bringing home a CD collection. A few times he brought home a CD collection from a surviving partner of Broadway musicals. So even in death, queer souls were connecting during this incredibly painful time. As I'm getting older, I'm 17 years old, and I'm discovering William Finn's Tony Award-winning musical Falsettos. And it just changed my life, because immediately I felt that musicals are about us. Musicals are healing. I immediately felt represented and saw my family in the story. And the show indirectly deals with the AIDS epidemic, but is really about a modern family, a chosen family on the brink of change in an evolving America. I had this intuition that I had to produce it and direct it, and I was only 17 years old. So I did, because nobody told me that I couldn't. I collaborated with the San Francisco chapter of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence on Pink Saturday, the day before Pride. They helped me raise funds to produce and mount the entire show. My dad built the set in our backyard. We moved it to the theater. I got the rights from Samuel French, who had the rights at the time. I sent my application snail mail, and sort of the rest is history. And the show starred a then unknown 18-year-old Alysha Umphress, who is now the great Alysha Umphress, the incredible Broadway star that we all know and love.
I was sure growing up I would live the life my mother assumed I'd live. Very Jewish, very middle class, and very straight, where healthy men stayed healthy men, and marriages were long and great. I smile, I don't complain. I'm trying to keep sane as the rules keep changing. Families aren't what they were. Thank God there's a husband and a child whom I adore. But then there's more, so many more. There's always more. Life is never what you planned. Life is moments you can't understand. And that is the ground as the ground keeps shifting, keeping my balance square, trying not to care about this man who Marvin loves. That's my life. He shared my life. Yes, that's my life. Life is never what you planned. Life is moments you can't understand, and that is life. Holding to the ground as the ground keeps shifting. Trying to keep sane as the rules keep changing. Keeping up my head as my heart falls out of sight. Everything will be all right. Everything will be all right.